So hello, I'm going to explain the project, walk through. So first we can read the same description what I do in the video on RabbitMQ. So to run the project you need a Docker in your machine. If you use Linux, so you can follow Linux instructions to install Docker to your machine. If you use Windows, you're gonna go this link. So first you need to clone project to your machine. So I'm gonna do it now. So I create a folder here. I'm gonna open the terminal and git clone. Yeah, I have already added git clone. Okay, so it's gonna clone the project. So, and I'm going to open this with code editor. You need any kind of code editor, Atom or VS Code. So we're gonna cmd and I'm gonna do code. So we downloaded the project. So to run the project, you must have Docker, make sure. And make sure your Docker is running. So Docker is running, you can see here. It's running. So to run the project, what I do. So as the description says, after installing the Docker, you're gonna run docker compose -t. We're gonna copy, come. I will use PowerShell to run Docker. So I'm now the same directory which this project is staying. So I'm going to pass and run. So it's going to be a little bit fast compared to yours because I have already downloaded images. That's why. So start. 3 images is running. One is RabbitMQ. One is our M1 microservice, which is Node 1, and M2 microservice is Node 2. So the service names. So I'm gonna do a little walkthrough through the code. So we can say this is a publisher. So between RabbitMQ, M1 service is like a publisher, M2 service is like a consumer. We're gonna send message or anything to M2, so it's gonna process it and return it back. So logic is like that. So as the requirement says, we can see from here the requirement. So we are taking HTTP request, sending it from RabbitMQ to M2 and sending it back, which processed message to M1. So come here. So this is simple Nodejs microserver. It's going to run it compose 3000 node 1 ports. This is MQTT and outside 3000 ports. It's going to run localhost, and then when it runs, it's going to create. We have Express for handle HTTP requests and RabbitMQ with the AMQP lib, which stands for Advanced Messaging Queue Protocol Library. So it's connecting to URL. Which URL? We gave also environment here. Note MQP URL. So here's URL, password, and RabbitMQ. So coming here. So creating channel. If there is error, it's gonna throw error, and creating one queue, which is with name queue, taking from environments. The name is Green API. So publisher, which is M1 microservice, is creating a channel called Green API. So durable is false, which is not going to keep messages when event stops. It will delete everything. So creating channel with the name of Green API, and so here on the down, if we go to post request, and we're gonna getting message structuring message from body, and we are sending the message as a JSON. We are putting task equals task message and stringifying it and turning it to buffer. So sending the buffer through the channel, which is the name of green API. And we are setting property reply to, which will be used to return back the message. So reply to where? To same channel. So it sends a message. So we run docker compose. So docker compose up -d run. So I think Docker is running. So container is running. Node 1, node 2. This is node 1 is M1 microservice, node 2 M2 microservice, and RabbitMQ. So I'm going to, as requirement says, I'm going to send HTTP request from Postman. Postman is like a tool you can send HTTP requests. So localhost 3000 and message I'm sending. This is an API payload message hello and dots. This dots has special meaning which helps to stimulate the processing procedure. So I will explain. So I'm going to send. It's saying send the message to M2 macro server through RabbitMQ. So what it does, if you open it here, so it says if I send, it says if I send it, it's saying got HTTP request message M2. The meaning is it's getting hello dot dot message and saying sends the message to the MQTT to M2. So here we can see from code it's sending the message to queue, and when it comes back, it's saying sent. So when it comes back, we are getting the processed result through anonymous channel, which is it doesn't have name, but it can consume another channels. So it's consuming the same queue because M2 sending back the result with the green API channel. So getting the message and canceling out. Got the processed message. The same in log here we can say got the processed message hello hash. So dot dot. So dot means like I explained. So it's going here and we can see the M2 side from M2 side. So I'm going to send again. So M2 dot dot and waiting 2 seconds. And starting processing task and finishing processing task, as you can see. So if you look at the M2 side, M2, this is the M2 macro server. So I'm gonna make it a little bigger. So it's getting, so here also we are creating channel, so handling errors, and we are creating same channel. I set the M2 node, which is node 2. It has environment variable Q with green API, same. So to communicate, for communication of two microservices, we need a channel, and every side should create the same channel with the same name. So green API and the M2 also creating same channel with the green API name. So and it's getting message. When it gets message, it's gonna destructure the task as we did like here. So we task message. So we are destructing from here and getting and splitting dots. So I'm going to explain now dots. These dots. So I stimulated the process. It can be any process, image processing, as I said in description, or PDF, any kind of. So dots, and it splits and counts. So if it has 2 dots, it's gonna say seconds. Why seconds? When it gets dots, it's gonna replace all dots with this sign, and it's going to delay for 1 second for each dots. For example, if our message has 3 dots, it's going to delay for 3 seconds. So it's like a processing. We can say it's like it's just simulation. So it's and the waiting, send queue, and sending back. So if you can remember, we say it here when we were sending the message task, we set one property reply to, and we send also queue name with reply to property. So in M2 we are handling it. We got the message here. So we are processing the message content here, message content, string file, and doing some stuff. Calculating seconds, and we are sending back the send queue. So in the message, we have also properties of channel, properties and reply to, which was set in M1 microservice, and buffering the result and sending back. So it's gonna have some delay. So we can see here full image, full picture. So this is a node 1, microservice 1. Going to come here, send. It's saying hello, waiting 2 seconds, was processing and sending back. We're going again. So let's put the more dots. So 6. We're gonna wait more. We're gonna send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So yeah. So processing and sending back. So this is from M1 side, which is this M1 side. Sending the message, waiting 6 seconds. Message coming here to M2. On M2, which is our node to process service. So we're gonna send again. So it's getting the task and waiting. So and sending back. So it says starts the processing task, finish it after 6 seconds. So here we can see he sends a message back. So this is it. Full, I think this is a full description of task, and here's also walkthrough with text, and the full for the full explanation what's this video, and I'm going to put this video which I'm recording now. So done. So when you want to run the project, make sure you have Docker in your machine. Okay, I explained Docker, Postman. We're gonna send request with Postman. So we are going to send to this localhost 3000 from Postman as a payload. You cannot change this. It will be same, but you can change this string inside, but you cannot change the key side. Okay.